Major Mohammed Ali Shah joining us on the broadcast. Major, have you seen these video clips?
Yes, Rishabh, I have seen these video clips.
So, Mohammed, what does it look like to you? Because this is not, a singular explosive. You can clearly see some kind of, shooting shrapnel which is emerging from the point of the explosion. And if you can just look, we have a 20-second clip playing, and it's explosion after explosion after explosion after explosion. Now, what does it look like to you, prima facie?
See, Rishabh, there could be various possibilities. One could be that there could be an ammunition dump over there which has caught fire. It could happen accidentally, but then they are in any formation, in any military formation, if there is an accidental fire and an ammunition dump, there are serious repercussions. And apart from the accident, thereafter there is a court inquiry held and a lot of heads would roll thereafter. So obviously any formation would try to cover it up by either denying it, but it will be very silly of anyone's part to actually to cover up such an explosion because it's visible to everyone, to the naked eye. So if when Pakistan Army, if they try to deny it, I mean, it's better to come out clean and say, yes, this is what happened, and take the onus of it.
Okay, Major Shah, just from the, let's just examine the video clips for a second. I'll just describe to you what you're seeing. So you can clearly see orange fireballs, okay? They're at least 40, 50, 100 feet high. And in just in the 10-second clip, you can literally see something shooting out from the site of the explosion. Now, I'm assuming that, if you're looking at, artillery shells or rockets that are, or, rocket-propelled grenades that are part of this ammunition dump, when things start blowing up, they're going to be shooting in all sorts of directions.
Absolutely right, Rishabh. When there's an explosion, any kind of explosion for that matter, things would be in all over the direction. And most certainly, this seems to be like there could have been an accidental fire and there could have been explosives over there. And those are the ones which have exploded thereafter, Rishabh.
Okay, accidental fire can happen, okay, but a lot of accidental things are, incidental things are happening in Pakistan. Suffice it to say that both the army, the terrorists and the political machinery in Pakistan are now bleeding by 1,000 cuts. Major Shah, I think this is a part of a shared colonial legacy. We like to call everything either a cylinder explosion or a short circuit. So a short circuit inside a major ammunition dump in one of the largest, border-facing cantonments in Pakistan could be. I mean, we can't say it for sure sitting here that it's not. But scale of the explosion, potentially it's not just a short circuit.
Well, there could be more to it, Rishabh, and I'm sure they will do the inquiry. And as you said, that the Pakistani agencies haven't put up any official notice on this. So yes, it could be anything. There is a lot of trouble happening inside Pakistan as well. We shouldn't forget that. There was a civil war just about less than a year back. They were the ploy to assassinate General Bajwa. They were protests against Imran Khan from his own party. So there is a lot of trouble brewing Pakistan as well. So that we cannot really rule out anything at this moment.
Okay, let's discuss some real politics, Major Shah. And I'll ask the unorthodox questions. There was a lot of discussion going on that when the India-Pakistan ceasefire happened recently, a few weeks ago, that the actual reasoning behind it was because the Pakistanis were simply running out of ammunition. Okay, remember, ammunition costs money. Okay, it doesn't come free of cost. And given the economic situation of Pakistan, which we well know, Major Shah, where they don't, I mean, what's happening in them. The IMF refusing loans, the Saudi Arabia guys wanting their loans back, China refusing to give more leeway in terms of paying off their CPEC debt. Once you lose millions of dollars of an ammunition reserve, which is what is likely happened here, replacement in these present economic circumstances in Pakistan is going to be tough.
Absolutely. And also not to forget in the sequence that you mentioned, on 24th February when the war broke out between Russia and Ukraine, Pakistan Prime Minister very shamelessly landed up in Russia the first day of the war, Imran Khan, and with a begging bowl and asking for these gas pipelines which he wanted to lay in his country, and he got a tight slap from Russia. And America thereafter slapped a huge penalty on Pakistan. They'll spend the rest of their lives paying for that. So they are broke. There's no denying that fact at all. They are completely broke. They're down the dumps. And it's about time that, their leadership should wake up. Otherwise, they will just sink themselves to death completely on their own.
Okay, so in practical terms, Major Shah, a plane, a frontline aircraft costs between 100 million and 200 million dollars. Okay, let alone what it costs to, train a pilot. An artillery gun has a cost, a tank has a cost, but even the munitions that are used, after a point, they are not a few hundred rupees. They're going to be every shell is going to be tens of thousands of rupees or thousands of dollars in value. So potentially, multi-million dollar loss to the Pakistani army on what they claim is a short circuit. Now, Major Shah, you and I, we're never going to know the truth, because it's not like the DG ISPR is going to come and say that yes, we are sacking this general or the 30th Corps commander because of a short circuit. So where do you expect this to go from here? Because amid the chaos in Pakistan, is the country digesting the fact that its army is in a lot of trouble?
Oh, well, the whole world knows of the fact that, Pakistan, the real orders don't come from Islamabad. They come from Rawalpindi. Rawalpindi actually controls Pakistan as a military. And now when such a fire breaks out over there and there's an explosion is heard and it's public already, it is very, very embarrassing for the entire Pakistan government, their military, for civilians, for the entire country basically. And where are they headed to? They are headed to doomsday. They are digging their own grave. Why? I will tell you. They are not concerned about what the leadership is not concerned about what's happening in the country. Look what's happening in Balochistan. Look at the protests over there. Look at the people do not even get drinking water. They're getting drinking water from the sewage. I mean, that is inhuman completely. And the reason for that is only one. The reason for that is because they're not concerned about their own country. They peep further from the neighbor's window and they try to see what's happening there. They should rather focus on meddling their own affairs. Instead of
well, Major Shah, 40 years since we are trying to think of that they would bleed India by 1,000 cuts. Look where India went, and look who actually is bleeding by 1,000 cuts right now. Major Shah, thanks very much for joining us on this telecast.